Hey guys, today I wanted to take a few minutes of your time and just show you the main differences between operating a $1,000 gimbal versus operating a $34,000 Steadicam rig. I've been operating prosumer gimbals for about 4 years at this point, so I definitely feel more comfortable with my Ronin S2. But Steadicam operating is something new that I've just jumped into recently. I've been doing it for about a year, and the more and more I do it, the more I realize how much I love and enjoy operating the Steadicam. A lot of my early music videos were shot on these more affordable gimbals, and at the time it was the only setup that I could afford to give my videos that better quality look. But at the same time, the unfortunate thing is that you can also tell that you're shooting on a gimbal and that the gimbal is being used in the video. Gimbals feel more mechanic, robotic, in a lot of ways, but my impression of the Steadicam thus far has been that it's not meant to feel like that. The arm on the Steadicam is meant to absorb more of the up and down motion that you see in a lot of gimbal footage these days. When you operate a gimbal, your arms naturally just go up and down because they're doing a lot of the work. So gimbals are kind of just meant to, emulate the look of the Steadicam on low budget music videos or commercials or events that you're shooting. So here I have the Ronin S2 along with my Blackmagic Pocket 6K, along with my 18-35 Sigma lens, which I'm using on this video right now. So what's different about the Ronin S2 versus the older Ronins is that the motors are much stronger, meaning that they can handle more weight. I've even seen Alexa Minis put on these Ronins, Alexa Mini LFs. You're also able to lock the gimbals, so you don't have all that dangling motion when you're carrying it around. And it's just easier to pull focus. The battery life is great, and there's a little touchscreen on the back that just kind of helps you go through your options real quick. So overall, it's a really great setup for run and gun gigs. If you're shooting a wedding, doing events, doing a small music video, where you need to be nimble and maybe you don't have a budget for a crew or hire anyone else to assist you. So it's just a perfect fit for those types of shoots. This setup, I would say, will probably run you about $3,500 between the gimbal, the camera, and the lens. Now on the Steadicam side, I have my Smart System Matrix Chimera rig that has the Steadicam Volt on it. I have the ARM X1, which can carry up to 70 pounds versus the 10 pounds that my Ronin S2 can carry. And for the camera, I have the Blackmagic Ursa Mini G2 plus the same 18-35 DSLR lens that I just throw on that rig when I need to switch it up. This whole setup cost me about $38,000. Oh my God! So it's a pretty big chunk of cash that I've chosen to invest into my career. And I just know over the next year or two, if I do 40 to 50 gigs, the rig is gonna be paid off, and everything else from then on is just gonna be my rate and what I'm gonna be profiting from owning this piece of equipment. I've been able to use my Steadicam rig on TV commercials, music videos, and also a lot of construction shoots that I've also been DPing in this season of my life. So it's been really nice owning the rig, knowing that I can throw on most cinema cameras and most types of cinema lenses on it, and know that if I'm doing a gig where it requires a stabilized shot, I have the right tool that can make it happen. So today I'm gonna be tackling a few challenges in the video, and I'm just gonna show you the main differences when it comes to using these tools. So before I jump into these challenges, I just wanted to give credit to Chris Howe, who initially did a video about 1.5 years ago showing the differences between the Steadicam rig and what it's like to use a gimbal. So a lot of these challenges are inspired by his video. I would encourage you guys to go watch his video after this video and just kind of see another take on what the differences are. All right, the first challenge is the simple subject tracking. For starters, I want to get started with just doing a simple tracking shot. Now, when you're working with a Steadicam rig plus a cinema lens, you'll most likely need someone to be pulling focus for you. Since I didn't want to hire a person to pull focus and get a Teradek and get him a monitor and spend a couple $100, I just decided to shoot at T8 on my lens and worry less about the focus, but focus more on the movement differences between the rigs. So just go a little easy on me when I'm just trying to keep a similar distance and focus in my shot, but also focusing mainly on the movement. All right, challenge number 2 is the obstacle course. For this shot, I just wanted to place a simple object in the path to show what the shock absorption abilities of the Ronin are versus my Steadicam rig and my Arm X1. All right, challenge number 3 is different focal lengths. For this example, I'm going to be attempting the same exact shot in 3 different focal lengths. I'm going to orbit around my subject and show the main differences between the artificial intelligence pan that's built into the Ronin S2 and also my Steadicam rig and how mechanical it is in that sense, because when I'm operating the Steadicam, I have full control with my hand over what the pan is gonna feel like, the pace of it, but here are just the main differences between the two. Like 5 minutes of operating. Just to wrap this video up, there's always going to be the right tool for the job. You know, there are certain things where I thought the Ronin was better versus the Steadicam, but I think overall, one of the cons with the Ronin is that you're either relying on a camera that has some kind of AI autofocus built in, or you're having to pull focus while you're focusing on framing and the movement in the camera. So for my Pocket 6K, you know, I have the little focus wheel right here that I throw on the lens, and a lot of times I'm just having to pull manual focus on the subject. And sometimes it's just not the ideal situation because I miss focus, I have to redo a shot. And with the autofocus on a lot of cameras, mainly, you know, Canon, Sony's, GH5s, you know, all those cameras that have really good autofocus, sometimes you just never know what it's going to focus on. It randomly focuses on a tree branch, and most times the focus works, but when you're on a big production set, if it's a music video or a commercial or a film, you just need to have the right tools that are going to save you time and going to deliver the results, because time is money when you're on these big sets. There's a lot of stuff happening and you just need to be as efficient as possible, and you can't rely on autofocus to always deliver on every shot. With the Steadicam, you have someone that's pulling focus for you, and you just solely focus on the framing. As you start leveling up to bigger productions, you know, where you need to be quick, you need to deliver without any mechanical issues, issues or AI or autofocus issues, Steadicam is more reliable for those types of jobs. But for indie work, such as shooting events, weddings, small music videos, marketing videos, your Ronin S2 will do just fine. It's the perfect tool. It's very affordable, and I've never had any issues with it yet. So what are your thoughts on the gimbal versus Steadicam debate? I'm talking a lot about my Ronin S2, but there are a lot of bigger gimbals like the Ronin 2, Movies out there, but also in situations where I've seen the Ronin 2 head used on a Fisher dolly or on a car rig, on a Ukraine, or back in the day, the Russian arm, which is not okay to say anymore. I've seen some really amazing shots done on a Ronin 2 plus a crane combo, because at that point, you just can place the camera any position, at any angle, at most heights, depending on how tall your crane can get. And that's where really the money is made with the Ronin 2. But for a lot of, I would say, maybe dialogue scenes or just simple commercials, the Steadicam is the right rig for sure. But let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a gimbal operator or Steadicam operator, comment down below. I would love to get a nice little safe space for a debate going on and see which one's better. But like I said in the beginning of the video, every job is going to require a different type of tools, and it's not, I guess, a debate of which one's the best, but what works best for the type of job you're working on. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video and seeing the differences between the two. If you're an indie filmmaker, I have some free assets for you down below. No strings attached, just click on the link and you can have them for free. But thanks for taking some time to watch this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.